Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Education Helpers Academy. In this video, we will discuss economic development policy in India. The particular topic is India's foreign trade. So the most important topic, India's foreign trade, you can observe in day-to-day life, in social media. So you can discuss each and every one what is the importance of foreign trade, what is impact in Indian economy and other rest of the countries. So introduction, we can discuss the process and level of the economic development of countries significantly influence the size, imposing a composition and direction of the foreign trade. Over the last decade, India's foreign trade exports and imports has undergone a significant transformation both in terms of composition of the commodities and directions. However, foreign trade expanded over the period with the dominance of the import growth via versa exports resulting in widening the negative trade balance. The trade policy announced 27 August 2009 in the backdrop of economic crisis keep the certain objective of arresting the reversing the declining trend of exports, so to provide additional support to those sectors badly hit by the recession in the developed world. What is the basic objective of the foreign trade? To give broad understanding of the foreign trade and its policy, this unit gives students to understand the aspects that how the various theories explain the development of foreign trade between the nations. The main objective of the unit are in this video to analyze the similarities, differences between internal and international trade, to provide an overview of various theories in foreign trade, to evaluate the terms of trade between the nations, to analyze the concept of balance of payment and adjustment mechanism, balance of payment. There are different phases in Indian foreign trade policies. The 5 phases in India's trade policies can be noted as follows. The first phase pertained to period from 1947-48 to 51-52. The second phase covering the period from 1952 to 53 to 56 to 57. The third phase from 1957-58 to June 1966. And fourth phase started after devaluation of the rupee in June 1966 and the last phase after 1975-76 till date. So during the first phase up to 1950-51 to 52, India could have liberalized imports but no account of placed by the United Kingdom on the utilization of the sterling balances. It had to count wartime controls. Yeah. The basic important 3 aspects are most important since our balance of payment which the dollar area has heavily adverse. This is also requested India to devalue her currency in 1949. By the law, the import policy constituted to be restrictive during the period. During the second phase from 1952 to 53 to 56-57, the liberalization of the foreign as a goal of trade policy. Import licenses were granted in a literal manner and an effort also made to encourage export by relaxing export control, reducing export duties, abolishing export quotas and providing incentive to exports. And the third point, the liberalization led to a tremendous increase in the more output, but export did not rise approximately. First deterioration in our foreign exchange results in the fourth point. During the third phase, which began in 1956 to 57, the trade policy was reoriented to meet planned economic development. The basic 3 points are the very restricted import policy was adopted and import controls further scanned the list of imported goods. On the other hand, a vigorous export promotion drive was. It was in the period that India's trade policy was thoroughly reviewed by the Mendeleev Committee in 1962. During the fourth phase started from the devaluation of rupee in June 1966. This period, the trade policy attempted to expand export strategy, liberalized imports, export promotion was given a big boost through the acceptance and implementation of the recommendation of the Mendeleev Committee 1962. The major recommendation include on increased allocation of raw materials on export-oriented industries, income tax relief on export, earning export promotion through import entitlement, removal of disincentives and setting up of Export Promotion Advisory Council, a Minister of International Trade. During the last phase 1975-76 onwards, the government adopted a policy of import liberalization with a review to encourage import promotion. First, we have to discuss the most important policy or foreign trade policy 1991. So, the Commerce Minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram, announced a major overhaul of trade policy at July 4, 1991, entailing the suspension of cash compensatory support and enlarged and uniform REP, replenishment rate 30% of FOB, free on board value, abolition of the all supplementary licenses, abolition of the unlisted OGL, open general licenses, removal of all import licensing for capital goods and raw materials. This is the 1991 very, very important policy, the foreign trade policy. You can stress all these aspects. After the announcement of new foreign trade policy 1991 and reopening of Indian markets for free competition in the world and creates hope for the Indian economy to come out in the level of satisfaction and subsistence, but only the new industrial policy is not sufficient to recover the world's largest economy. As a result, in 31st March 1992, a new trade policy was announced by the government of India has marked the SLR 71 departure for all the previous trade policies, because the previous trade policies does not show such an value changes for the improvement of foreign trade positions of India. This policy is therefore important and unique because it has been announced after the implementation of the new industry policy 1991, and rather than this policy, almost all kinds of state control regulations. And the most important point we have to discuss, the private sector is allowed to import into commodities like raw materials, capital goods, without the intervention of the government, but beside this, the export obligation must be fulfilled correspondingly. This policy is based on the assumption of the liberalization. The steps were also taken boost and domestic industry productions. Some more attempts to the exempt policy of 1992-97 include introduction of the duty-free exports, promotion of capital goods, that is EPCG scheme, and strengthening of the advanced licensing system, the creation of the suitable framework for integrating Indian foreign trade into the internal economy, the Indian industrial products to achieve the best quality of products so that they could stand in front of the high international standard of quality. The research and development should be promoted to attain the technological modernization and upgraded Indian industries. Next, coming to exim policy of 1997-2002, to can detailed. The policy of 1997-2002 has brought a new concept in trade policies in Indian, provide Indian economy to gateway to liberalization and modernization by which the Indian economy is able to integrate with the different and developed economies of the world. The policy contains the number of significant features. The most controversial PAB value-based license scheme has been abolished, and 542 items have been transferred from the restricted list of special import license, that is SIL, and freely importable list. The new entitlement passbook scheme has also been introduced. The basic objective of the exempt policy 1997-2002 are the principal objective of the exempt policy as follows here: to accelerate the economy from low level of the economic activities, a high level of the economic activities by marketing it a globally oriented, vibrant economy, and drive maximum benefits from expanding global market opportunities. To create new employment opportunities, encourage the attainment of internationally accepted standards of quality. To give quality consumer products at particular prices. The highlight of the exempt policy are, you can discussing the most important highlights are the import liberalization of 543 items from restricted list. 150 items have been transferred to the special import license SIL list, and remaining 392 items have been transferred upon general license list. The other most important duty entitlement pass scheme. Under the DEFB, an exporter may apply of credit as a specific percentage of FOB value of export made of freely convertible currency. Such credit can be utilized for import of raw materials, intermediate components, parts, packaged materials, for example, purpose. So another important is the export-import policy in 2002 and 2007. Union Commerce and Industry Minister Mr. Murad announced the exim policy for the year period 2002-2007 on March 31, 2002. The main thrust of the policy was to push India's exports aggressively by undertaking several measures aimed at augmenting exports of foreign goods. A small-scale sector, textile, garments, jewelry, and electronics hardware extra. Special economic zones, India banks were allowed to set up offshore banking units in special economic zones. These units would act as mm, magnets to attract foreign direct investment. These offshore banking units would be virtually foreign branches of Indian banks but located in India. OBS, that is offshore banking units, would be exempted from cash reserve ratio, statutory liquid ratios, and would be give access to SEZ developers to international finance to international rates. This measure was aimed to make special economic zones internationally competitive. First point is you can highlight it, the employment oriented measures. Exim policy 2002-2007 initiated a number of measures which would help employment orientation. Among them are following: agriculture exim policy removed all quantitative restrictions on all agriculture products except a few sensitive items like jute and onions. Cottage sector and handcrafts, amount of 5 crore under market access initiative MIA were remarked for promoting cottage industry support coming under KVIC. The units under handicraft could also access under MAI. The last most important point I highlighted, the small scale industries with a view to encourage further developed countries of economic and export excellences such as Tripur Housery. The foreign trade policy 2004 and 9 you can discuss here. Union Commerce Minister Mr. Kamal Nath announced the foreign trade policy in this 2004 and 9 for the 5-year period on 31st August 2004, which aimed doubling India's percentage share in global merchandise trade from 0.7 in 2003 to 1.5% in 2009. During 3 and 4, India's merchandise exports were valued $61.8 billion, accounting for amount 0.7% of world exports. If share was doubled, it would imply that the country's exports would have to reach $195 billion by 2009, assuming a 10% compound annual growth rate of world trade. For this purpose, India's exports would grow at the annual average growth rate of 26%. Besides this, the service sector is also expected to increase the share in export of invisible to over 100 billion. Together, the two sectors are expected to reach the target of 300 billion by 2009. The main elements of the exim policy 2004 and 9 are the new exim policy giving the main elements: legal framework, board of trade, general provision regular imports and exports, export promotion capital goods scheme, export oriented units, UOEs, electronics hardware technology parks, BTPS, EHTPS, software, technological parks and biotechnology BTPS, special economic zones, free trade and warehousing zones, deemed exports. Now we are coming to foreign trade policy 2009 and 14. The objective of the foreign trade policy 2009 and 14 to arrest reverse declining trend of the export in main aim of the policy. The aim will be reviving after 2 years. To double India's exports of goods and services by 2014 and to double India's share in global merchandise trade 2020 as long-term aim of this policy. India's share in global merchandise export was 1.45% in 2008. Simplification of the application procedure for availing various benefits. The another important objective is to set in motion the strategies and policy measures which catalyst of growth exports. To encourage exports through a mix of measures including physical incentives, institutional changes, procedural and rationalization and export of enhanced market processes across the world and diversification of export. Aim in general, the policy aim is developing export, improving export performance, boosting foreign trade and earning valuable foreign exchange. FTP assumes the great significance this year as India's export has been battered by the global recession. A fall in export has led to the closure and several small and medium scale export oriented units. What are the targets of the foreign trade policy 2009 and 14? The targets are: export target is 200 billion by 2010 and 11. Export growth rate target 15% by next year by 25% therefore. EPCG, Obligation under EPCG scheme relaxed to aid technology upgradation export sector. EPCG scheme with zero duty on been introduced. Export obligation OB import of spares more extra under EPCG scheme has been reduced by 50%. These are the most suggested readings for this paper. Uma Kapila, Indian external sector, and another important is Biswajit Dar. The another most that is the rather Datta and Sundaram is the another most important book for any other competitive books for in this paper, economic growth and development. Thank you for your attention and thank you very much. If you like the video, please subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you very much.